In the land of opportunity, a silent epidemic has been growing, affecting millions across the nation. Loneliness, a silent killer. Social isolation and loneliness are not merely emotional states. They can be associated with depression, undermining self-esteem and eroding one's sense of identity. At any given moment, about half of Americans experience measurable levels of loneliness. Social isolation is objective, having few social relationships, social roles, group memberships, and infrequent social interaction. Loneliness stems from social isolation and is more subjective. It's the distressing experience that results from perceived isolation or unmet need between an individual's preferred and actual experience. When people are socially disconnected, the risk of heart disease increases by 19%, dementia by 50%, and stroke by 32%, and so does the risk of anxiety and depression, especially in children and young adults. All medical risks that may linger for decades of a person's life.
I've talked to a lot of my peers about their experiences during the isolation period of the pandemic, and they said that overall they felt more lonely, they felt extremely depressed and isolated, and, it's not good to be alone for that long. It really isn't.
U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Vivek Murthy says that given the significant health consequences of loneliness and isolation, we must prioritize building social connections the same way we prioritize other critical public health issues, such as tobacco, obesity, and substance use disorders.
Individuals that are lacking those kind of social connections are predisposed, have a higher rate of anxiety and depression. And then that's cyclical, so that feeds back. Individuals with depression and anxiety tend to experience more loneliness and social isolation, so they kind of feed into each other.
When people are experiencing just high levels of anxiety or depression, sometimes we pull away from connections and kind of don't do the actions that develop friendships and closeness.
Feelings of human connections are influenced by our interactions with both family and friends. People who hug or kiss a family member almost every day are 28% less likely to report feeling lonely and 26% less likely to report major depressive symptoms. In addition, connections are influenced by the physical elements of community, including parks, libraries, and playgrounds, and the programs and policies in place. To strengthen social infrastructure, communities must design environments that promote connection, establish and scale community connection programs, and invest in institutions that bring people together. Being aware of the problem is the first step. As humanity brings these issues to light, people can work towards fostering communities built upon unity.
Most people that are contributing in some way tend to be happier, and people with those sorts of connections tend to live longer.
So when towns, cities, and districts are run under the idea to bring people closer, they can more easily band together to face additional social and economic challenges while simultaneously looking out for the health of their citizens. Cultivating a culture of connection is not just a solution, it's a commitment to seeing each other, hearing each other, and embracing the undeniable power of interpersonal bonds.
Pay attention to yourself. Pay attention to where you feel good in the world.
To reach out to friends and family members and use them for support.
And so I think a lot of people go through that. Just it feels weird, feels embarrassing, and you just kind of got to do it because the benefits are worth it.